Hi, I'm Malerie, and this is Between Generations. What stands between generations? Is it time? Is it morals? Is it experience? Are we living in the same world as the generations that came before us? Or have we redefined a new normal? In this series, we dive into how we could heed the lessons of the past and integrate them into a life that will unite us all, between generations. Tulsa is home to a great deal of places for diverse crowds to gather. In this episode, we'll highlight some of the wonderful places to visit throughout the city. Join us as we speak to a few people about their favorite places and travel throughout Tulsa together.
When we think of Tulsa, some of us may conjure images of oil men from the early 1920s. Some might think of the many Black lives and businesses that were lost during the Tulsa Race Massacre. Others may imagine all of the native land that was stolen by white settlers. But we rarely think of Tulsa beyond its history. Who are its people? Where are the places they go? Why do they gather? Like buried treasure, Tulsa has many gems and jewels that are hidden beneath divided political party lines, wealth gaps, and racial disparities. If we dig a little deeper, we can uncover that Tulsa has many faces and places that make up its total sum. Throughout generations, its diversity has increased. For example, a Latinx, Asian, or Southeast Asian person can find a sense of belonging and home by shopping at stores like the Hispanic grocery stores, Las Americas, or the Asian grocery store, Nam Hai.
Pho Ni is a pho spot, and it's actually next to the Asian market.
Nam Hai, yes.
Yeah, Nam Hai, yeah, because listen, I really, again, in my vegan stage, oyster mushrooms are the rage, but you can't get them anywhere. You can't get king oyster mushrooms anywhere in Tulsa except the Asian market. Go to Nam Hai, get those king oyster mushrooms, and get your life together and make you some barbecue from mushrooms. It's just live your best life by shopping at places that Black and brown people shop. Just do that. Spend your money there. You're, like I said, familial, high quality. You're keeping the dollar in communities that have been pillaged. So this gives you an opportunity to give, and then also you're getting something in return. It's not like you're giving and then it's like, oh well, I just gave out the guns to my heart. No, you get some bomb ass king oyster mushrooms, or you get some fire like tongue tacos. Did you know they make tacos with tongue? I didn't, but I had some and they're delicious. So look, I know food. If I don't know nothing else, I know Black people and I know food. And so I would say those are some of my favorite foods, some of my favorite places, some of my favorite people in Tulsa.
It's about seeking out places that you may have never heard of so you can experience all of who and what Tulsa has to offer.
Here in East Tulsa, where I was raised, I really like Pancho Anaya. Although they have a few different locations, there's a couple on the east side, and I really love all their streets. That's where I go to get dessert a lot because they're right down the road from me. So Pancho Anaya is a Mexican bakery, and from my understanding, it's like multi-generational. My favorite thing to get there is like a sugar donut and a coffee. So they have different coffees. You can get like cappuccino, you can get just plain coffee, or if you want like a jarritos, or if you want a juice or something, like they have a lot of options. So that's my favorite thing.
Tulsa is often overshadowed by the present and past tension that exists between Black and white Tulsans, but the city is much more than Black and white. We are home to diverse faith-based organizations ranging from Hindu and Buddhist temples, Islamic mosques, and a number of Christian churches.
In terms of like worship, I currently attend Transformation Church. It's a great church in terms of age demographics. Like they touch everybody, old, young, and all kinds of people attend that church, as well as non-denominational. Another church is Hope International Ministries, which is a international church. I used to go there. It's been for 13 years of my life. And it's, all kinds of people from Jamaicans to English people to Ghanaians, a huge African community, Hispanic, all kinds of people attend that church, Caribbean. And so I like that kind of worship where it basically looks like heaven. And so you learn languages, you fellowship, you have a great community too as well. So Hope International is a great place for people that are looking for something a bit different in terms of types of worship.
There is something for everyone at every age in this city. Tulsa has evolved to be rich in culture, museums, and art.
My very favorite place I'm in right now, which is Philbrook Museum. I'm here in the gardens, which is a special place for me. And so in terms of just being with people and being with nature and being with art, those are my three favorite things. This is my favorite place. What I love about Philbrook is that I can bring anybody here and know that they will feel welcome. And that's really important to me. Making people feel welcome is very important to me. And I never would want anyone that I know to ever feel excluded from a place. And I don't feel that that would be the case if I brought people here. There are 23 acres of beautiful gardens, some perfectly manicured with beautiful flowing fountains, and some not, like more unconventional. There's a log cabin here in the garden that's made of wood, glass, and t-shirts. There's art inside that runs the gamut of ancient, so there's like an Egyptian mummy, and to contemporary art. And it's representative of all different cultures around the world. In fact, there's an exhibit inside right now that is dedicated to the art of Native American women, and it spans 1,000 years of creativity. I think people will come to Philbrook, especially now, and see themselves.
Tulsa is truly a place that has a space for everyone. In the last 10 years, the opportunities for people to gather have rapidly increased. But unless you visited the city in the last decade, you would have no idea how much a city can change.
I grew up in Tulsa. I've lived all over the world, but this is moving back here, 2016. This is just not the same city that I grew up in. There's been so much development. There's so many new, trendy, cool, hip places that have opened up. And so even I'm discovering them like, wow, this is really cool. I just wish that there were more people who were exploring them with me, especially people who look like me. I know that I don't necessarily have a problem walking into a room and being the only Black person there, but I really wish that, there were more folks that were doing the same, because so many times people tell me there's nothing to do here in Tulsa, or there's no opportunities, or, Tulsa's lame. And that's not really true if you just step out your comfort zone just a little bit.
There are many places that people love to gather.
Obviously, I'm a nerd. I'm a policy nerd. I'm a policy wonk. So I love to read. And so two of my favorite places are definitely Fulton Street Books and Coffee, run by a good friend of mine, Onika. The coffee there is amazing. She has this one drink that tastes like an almond joy. It is so good. It's absolutely delightful. She makes her own milks, so her own coconut milk, her own almond milk, high quality content, 10 out of 10, definitely recommend. And then also Magic City Books. They're a great organization. They're a nonprofit bookstore. So you know that your money is going to a good place. There's such great programming that they do there as well. They've been having author talks online during COVID, and they also do these author talks in person when the world isn't falling apart. So I definitely recommend those two as places to shop.
I love the breweries. Like, one of the reasons that moved me back, that helped me decide to move back to Tulsa, was the ability to go to a brewery and get a table and sit down, right? Because even if a brewery in Tulsa is busy, somehow magically there's still places to sit and talk and enjoy your friends' company, whether it's indoor or luckily now outdoor. Dead Armadillo has always been a very chill place to hang out. New Era Fermentations, great spot to hang out. They have delicious food. They have beer that my friends who don't eat gluten anymore, whether they have the disease or not, we can all go there to drink. And, it's always a good place to meet after work, or before a show, or just in the middle of the afternoon, middle of a weekend afternoon, because they're launching some new thing. So those are the places I've hung out the most since I moved back here.
For me, like a perfect Sunday in Tulsa, like where it's just chill, you're just having a good time, the weather's perfect. I like going to start my day off at Cherry Street Kitchen. Everything on the menu is bomb. The staff is so kind and very accommodating. They all know me by name because I go so often. And then I really love to go after that down to Riverside. There's the Gathering Place, which is this really big park. It sprawls for I don't know how many blocks, but families really enjoy going. And if you go, there's like, people biking. I like to go longboarding. People are rollerblading. There's also like bike ride sharing in Tulsa. So even if you don't own your own bike, it's easy to access one and still go up and down Riverside and get a view of the water. And it's very, very pretty in my opinion, or it can be.
I recently went to brunch at Next Level, which is a Black-owned bar and grill. And let me tell you, those grits changed my life. I got grits and a crab cake, and I prayed. I think that they're open throughout the day, but I think people should go there for a fine dining experience. Jesus, the food is off the wall delicious. The vibe is great. Tulsa needs more spaces like that.
Though there are many places to gather, what would any of these places be without the people to fill them?
What I love about Tulsa is it's a place where people are for one another. So in my experience, people are proactive about trying to help each other. They don't wait to be asked. And I feel known here, and I like the fact that people look out for one another. Yeah, it's a place where it feels very, very safe and comfortable and loving.
I love the familiarity of Tulsa. I love that as I've grown, I've been able to see it grow with me. So even in my neighborhood, I lived here maybe 5 years ago, left and came back, and found that it had really changed. There were a lot more families, there were a lot more people of color, a much more integrated space, which made me really happy. So I would say Tulsa is a place where, I don't know, you can find unexpected things and unexpected people. There's all kinds of people here. So I would say it's special in that way.
I love the people, like you meet all kinds of people in Tulsa. And it's such a good thing because it's not a monotone kind of thing. You really meet all kinds of people. I'm not saying be friends with everybody, but I'm saying there are people that I can definitely call friend till I die, you included. But it's just these people have definitely added meaning to my life as a young person. As I go through things, I know who I can call, I can cry to, and then it's just a whole vibe, because when you have these people that are just pouring into your life, when you go to these places that I've called out or shouted out, it's even much more enjoyable because of the company you have there. It's one thing to go by yourself and enjoy it for, whatever purpose you have. But when you're going to brunch with your friends, when you're going to dinner with your friends, where you go to Bohemian Pizza and you're by a fire pit eating pizza and drinking wine and talking about life, those memories are what you carry with you, not, I just went to go eat here. You can always go eat there. It's the memories you make when you have the right people with you, and people that actually care about you and care about the city you're in and are willing to, put their lives on the line for the city to be better than it is. It makes the world a better place. It makes the city a better place.
Thanks for joining us on today's episode of Between Generations. Tulsa has a broad selection of gathering places for all to enjoy. The radiant atmosphere of Tulsa is a promising space that has something for everyone. If you like this video, make sure to hit the like button and press subscribe. And don't forget to press all notifications so you don't miss a single episode. Again, I'm your host Malerie, and be sure to join us every other week on YouTube for Between Generations.